everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're just seeing this face for the first time, you're very welcome. My name is Kindness and this is my diary. And in this channel, we talk about everything Sweden, moving to Sweden, studying in Sweden, and basically my life here in Sweden. To my returning subscribers, the OGs, thank you for coming back. I cannot thank you guys enough for engaging in my videos. So guys, in today's video, we'll be diving into a very important topic, which is finding accommodation here in Sweden. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you different types of accommodation we have here in Sweden, how to get them. I'll share some websites with you where you can get them, and basically let's find apartment. So without wasting much of your time, let's get right into today's video. So first, I'd like us to understand the housing market in Sweden. In Sweden, the housing market varies significantly across all cities. In cities like Stockholm, Gothenburg, Malmö, houses are very difficult to find. But smaller cities in Sweden, you can get accommodation very easily and affordably. As a student, it's very common to rent apartments here in Sweden and not buying. So there are differences between buying and renting, but for the purpose of this video, we are going to focus on renting apartment. So what are the accommodation options available for you as a student? We have the university accommodation for students. For students, university accommodation is always their first choice when it comes to finding accommodation or finding apartment. The university will offer you apartment that is usually near campus or on campus. So to get this accommodation, every university have their ways of application. So it's best that when you get your admission, you check if your university offers admission and begin to apply well advanced before the resumption of the semester. Most of the times people stay in queue to get this accommodation. Most times the costs can vary sometimes, but for university accommodation, you should be looking at 3,000 to 4,000 Swedish krona. That's 3,000 to 4,000 Swedish krona per month for a room. And most times this university wants you to pay for a full semester or a full session. Another form of accommodation is private student housing. This is provided by companies like SGS, Student Bostada, sssb. These companies offers various housing options for students. The application process is almost same like the university process for this private student housing, and most times, like I always say, the queue is usually long and you must meet some criteria before you are able to get this housing. Also, sometimes these costs might be higher, sometimes it might be lesser. It just depends most times on the city and the location of the apartment. Another form of accommodation is shared apartment. So we have websites like Blocket, Facebook group, or Facebook Marketplace. These are the places that you can search for shared apartment. Now, before you go and look for shared apartment, you have to maybe ask how many rooms are in a shared apartment, how many people will be there. And when you find the answers to this question, please try to know the kind of people that are in this apartment, because I've had my fair share of shared apartments and sometimes it doesn't really work well, but sometimes these are like the only option we have and we have to go for it. So the cost of a room in a shared apartment is almost the same. We can get like 4,000, 5,000 per month for a room in a shared apartment. So a shared apartment means you have your own personal room, but you'll be sharing a bathroom and the kitchen with other occupants in the house. Also, when it comes to searching for this shared apartment, you need to avoid being scammed, right? So you need to really get to know the people you are going to be with, and don't make any payment until you see the house or before you move into the house. So for non-students, there are rental options for non-students. We have websites like homeq.se, casa.se. So in this website, you are going to find rental listings that you can apply to. So for non-students or even students, there are different types of rentals. We have the first-hand contract and second-hand contract. So first-hand contract means like the landlord rented it directly to me. That's first hand contract. Then second hand contract is maybe I have this apartment and I'm moving to another city, but I don't want to give back the apartment to my landlord. I can give my apartment to another person, so that person is renting it from me as second hand. So you have to know the two different types of rental options. So maybe you can see somebody advertising the house, oh, I'm renting out this my apartment in second hand. So when you are renting apartment, you need to consider your budget, you need to consider the location. If you're a student, the distance from your apartment to your school. If you are working, the distance from the apartment to where you are going to work. So you need to consider all those things. So if you have been offered an apartment, it's very important to act quickly, because if you don't, it will be given to another person in the queue. So that's why it's important to have your budget ready. So when they say, oh, you've been offered an apartment, then you go quickly. So imagine you just arrived the country and you don't even have a second-hand apartment, a first-hand apartment, a student this thing. What can you do? So we have, you can temporarily stay in a hotel, or we have Airbnbs you can stay. It can be really pricey, but you really need a place to put your head. So you want to consider a hotel or a Airbnb in the meantime before you are able to get an apartment where you can lay your head. So let's talk about the practical tips you need to follow when searching for accommodation. The first tip I would say is to start early. So you've been given your admission. The best thing is to start looking for accommodation. Start reaching out to people. Join Facebook groups to see if you can see your fellow schoolmates or course-mates who are also in search of looking for accommodation like you. So start early. Do not waste time. Another thing I would like to talk about is networking. Networking is very important. Social media is a very great tool when it comes to like moving abroad. You are going to meet people, like-minded people like you, people who are searching for opportunities like you. So you can join Facebook groups, join your school website on Facebook, your school group on Facebook. You're going to meet a lot of people that have the same thing you are looking for. You're going to see people that have the same thing that you are looking for. So social networking is very, very important. Don't be an introvert. You need people as much as people need you. So if possible, join a community. Have a community. There are community of Nigerians in Sweden, community of your home country in Sweden. You can go to events. You never can tell. You can go to one of these events and you see people talking about maybe job opportunities or available apartments. You are going to get a lot of information. So social networking is very, very crucial when it comes to finding an apartment. Another thing I want to talk about is the contract, the housing contract. So when you find an apartment, you want to take your time to read the terms and conditions of the contract. Like for people that rent house in second hand, the person who has the house is going to give you a contract which it will be given to the person by the housing agency that he rented the apartment from. So you want to take your time to read the terms and conditions of this contract. Don't just sign because you want to sign. This document will be in Swedish, so most times you have to translate it to understand better before you sign. In the contract, you can see the notice period you have to give them when you are leaving and things like that. Another tip I want to talk about when it comes to finding an apartment is finance. You have to like budget money, not just for rent, for utilities like water, light. Some rent do not come with everything in it. Some rent is just basic rent, then you have to pay for light, for water and things like that. So whenever you are making your budget, try to make a proper budget when it comes to housing and accommodation. So guys, in the description of this video, I'm going to link websites or links that you can use to find accommodation, maybe for your city or generally in Sweden, and things like that. You may, it's very long, but you can just try your best to like go through them. The last link is the link that you can use to find for different cities. So you might want to check each and every one of those links to see if you can get an apartment for yourself. That's it guys. Remember to start early. Please, if you have any questions or you're not clear about anything, please drop your questions in the comment section down below, and I'll be willing to help you answer your questions. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel guys. I'll bring more videos for you guys on this channel, and thank you for sticking with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Hey though.